Hey there, Marcus here. Today's workflow is a very short one. What I'm gonna show is something similar to what I did one time, which was creating header images for a article. In this case, what we have here is an article about the the Olympics ceremony in Paris 2024. That's gonna be a little bit different. They're gonna go have it outside of the stadium and go along the River Seine instead. And what I want to do here is just create a gallery of images to visualize this. So like something abstract, oil painted maybe. And I'm gonna use DALL-E 3 for this. So that's the thing, even with the OpenAI module or OpenAI plugin for AI Interpolator, you can generate images as well. So it's not just Dream Studio that can do it. And I'm gonna do it together with the Prompt Perfect module because it does create better prompts for image generations. So how this is gonna work basically, we're first gonna ask OpenAI to generate, I don't know, 4 image prompts that visualize this article. Then we're gonna take those image prompts that are usually fairly okay because OpenAI knows how to do image prompting as well, since of course GPT and DALL-E is tightly coupled, as you can see when you use ChatGPT. But still, what I've seen is if you use Prompt Perfect, the result is actually more visually stunning. So we're gonna take a second step where we take the Prompt Perfect to perfect these prompts, and then we're gonna use those prompts then again with OpenAI to generate images using DALL-E 3. I'm gonna show you the Slick Carousel module that we have as well. That is one of the greatest modules for showing a gallery. So this is not written by me, of course. This is just one of many Drupal contributed modules that are awesome. Just to visualize, so you don't just see some thumbnails, but an actual like slider carousel. So I have installed those modules. I have set up the API keys. I will just show you quickly. So if I log in here, I will say also for you who don't know, this is Drupal. Drupal is open source. Everything is free to use. Of course, using OpenAI, using cost money. Prompt Perfect, you get like some testing credit, so you can actually test it if you want. But it still costs money, right? So after you install these modules, there is under web services, there is this Prompt Perfect config where you can add the Prompt Perfect API key, and OpenAI settings where you can add the OpenAI settings then. With the Slick Carousel, you have to install some libraries and so on, but this is very well documented in the Slick Carousel module. I'm not going to show you how to do that. So I already prepared that. So I'm just going to go through the workflow as it is when it comes to the AI Interpolator and all the stuff that does basically. So if we go into our content types, we will see it's just a very simple body right now. And that's, once again, I can just show you the body is then this text that writes about the ceremony. So the first thing we want to do here then is that we want to take a plain text plain long that we call the pre-prompt. So this is the initial prompt that OpenAI generates from the article. We say that we want, I'm just gonna create 4. So a real gallery needs more, of course, but generating images in DALL-E takes time, and I don't have video editing software here, so I don't want to just sit and be quiet for like a minute or two while it's generating 20 images. Anyway, we want to enable the AI Interpolator because that's what does the magic here. And we're going to use OpenAI string long. We're going to use base mode because the only context that we need is the body, so the article. And then we just write the prompt here based on the context. Create 4 one sentence image prompts that visualizes the context of the article, make them make the images abstract and in an oil canvas. Context, of course here, so context, I'm just gonna copy here context, and of course here how you prompt this will be very important for the end result. This is something you have to perfect yourself, and this is something that has to match your website as well, of course, what you're doing. I'm just giving an example here. Oil canvas is probably not the best example, but it gives a very unique view, so you can see that it actually follows the prompt. So I'm gonna turn on batch mode. I will say if you're gonna generate 30, 40, 50 images, this will take so long time that even batch mode might time out. So the difference between this is that direct just means it takes all the AI chaining and just tries to do it in one request. Batch mode uses JavaScript, so it splits them up, but then the image generation might actually take too long, so it might time out. Batch mode is also not good if you're gonna programmatically generate the nodes. So in that case, actually the Q-cron might make the most sense. I will use the GPT-4 Turbo in this case, so it creates fairly good output. I will have the weight 100. This is important, you will see now, because I'm gonna add the next step, which is once again a text plain long. That's gonna be the actual image prompts. So we set this to 4 as well, and this also enables AI Interpolator. And here we're gonna use the prompt perfect prompt. The target model that we want to do is DALL-E 3. So we basically tell prompt perfect that take this prompt that OpenAI generated. We want to generate an image in DALL-E 3 and generate an even better prompt. So I'm just gonna take iterations 2 here. You should do a larger number. It's gonna create even better prompts, but I would just do the simplest one now. And we do pre-prompt as the base field. So it takes the pre-prompt and generate a better prompt, right? And we say that the interpolator weight is 101 in this case, and batch mode. So this has to be higher than the last one, but because of course the image prompt has to be generated before we can do, the pre-prompt has to be generated before we can do the final image prompt, right? And the last thing we're gonna create here then is a file field that is an image field. And this is gonna be the actual gallery where the images are. So we call that gallery. We do, well, okay, you could set 4 there. I set unlimited, then you could basically upload your own images after or whatever. We don't need alt field. In this case, we also enable AI Interpolator. We're gonna use OpenAI DALL-E to generate the images. We're gonna use the base mode and base it on the image prompts. And in this case, I will just trust them so much that I just write the context from perfect, and this usually gives very good results. Of course, you could add very specific prepend prompting or append prompting to this, well, where you might say that it should be some specific camera or something, right? And once again, batch mode, this is important that we do interpolator weight that's even higher than creating the image prompt, because it needs to create the pre-prompt and the image prompt, and then it can generate the image. I'm gonna use DALL-E 3 in this case. I just use standard quality. I just do the smallest resolution because, once again, I don't want it to take too long time. But if you're doing this, you should set the highest quality if you need it, of course. Or actually, I guess the slider looks nicer if it's horizontal. So I'm actually gonna do the horizontal resolution in this case. Before we create this, I will just fix the manage display. So because we don't want to show the pre-prompt and the image prompt on the final product, and we want to show the gallery first without a label, and we want this to be a slick image. So this is what the Slick Carousel does. And this has a lot of settings now. I'm just gonna take yeah, Flexbox with the default, and image style is none. Yeah, we can do a thumbnail, I guess. Oh, I don't think Slick will actually be using that. I think that's okay. I mean, you will have to read about exactly what everything does, but this should be a okay just slider at least. So I save this, and then I go back to my content here, and I'm just gonna edit it. And if I edit, you see there is this 4 pre-prompt fields, there's this 4 image prompt fields, and they are empty, and the gallery is empty as well, right? So I'm just gonna click save now, and it's gonna start processing. So this has 3 basically steps now. The initial one is that it generates the initial prompt, and that's pretty fast. Prompt perfect is it's gonna be pretty fast now, but as I said, you should add iterations to it, maybe add 10 iterations or something to actually generate as good result as possible. So so I will say that right away. The actual result here might not be perfect because I'm skipping on the prompt perfect iterations, and I'm skipping on the quality of the images as well. So you should use HD to get as good quality as possible on the images. But it's just so you to give you an idea. And as I said, this is open source, it's free to use. So just feel free to do the exact same setup after you watch the tutorial, and just change the configuration there to HD and add iterations to 10. And then as you see, even this takes a lot of time, but that will take even longer time in that case. And of course, it's important for you to know if you turn on the cron worker, you need to enable your cron job, of course, as well. So there we go. So you see, we have a gallery here with hopefully 4 images with very abstract images and you can see it's the River Seine, exactly what the article talks about, right? And yeah, this is very abstract, so of course how you prompt it matters. But I will just show you here, if I go into edit, that it has created a pre-prompt here, right? And then it takes this pre-prompt and creates even better image prompts. So that's basically wording that works very good with DALL-E 3, right? So you can see here, athletes and performers intermingle in our floating stage, and here it does a breathtaking display of synchronized acrobatics and athletic prowess on a stunning levitating platform. To be honest, in that case, it might overdo it because it's supposed to be about normal athletes, right? But yeah, you get the idea. In many cases, you can probably skip the prompt perfect, but it is a very good way of making sure, especially if you open up for editors that might not know prompting, they want to use text generation prompt or image prompting to generate better results. And yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching, and happy testing this around if you do.